today. So for those that don't know me, my name is Emmanuel Itoje. I'm a Microsoft MVP. I'm also Microsoft certified trainer as well as a Microsoft MCT community lead for Nigeria and West Africa. I'm currently based in Malta. Where I currently work with big one of the big four here in Malta. Yeah, today's session is mainly focusing. Why I decided to have this session with us today was my experience in the last 5 months when I relocated from Nigeria to another continent and in Europe, and also my experience working with a different organization that I wasn't used to working with. So I decided let me have this session, bring the session to us so that it can really help us to navigate our career. Before I start with the slide, I would like to, do we have access to the chat? If you have access to the chat, can you just say yes, the chat? If you have access to the chat, I want to know. If you have access to the chat, just say yes. Because I want to ask us like two questions. All right, thank you to meet up. Let me see. All right, awesome, thank you. So the first question I want to ask I think my internet. 1 second. Okay, apologies for that. Let's change my internet settings. All right, so the first question, if you are, if you were in yesterday's session with mentor Olajide, please say yes in the chat. So if you're in yesterday's session with mentor Olajide, can you say yes in the chat? Okay, thank you, Manu. Please, I need our reactions. I want it to be interactive. I forgot to mention it to them to actually allow mic for everybody because I actually wanted this session to be interactive. All right, thank you, Sunday. I can see Boye, Theodora. All right, thank you for joining the session and thank you for joining today too. I know Sunday afternoon, most of us want to rest and want to be ready for the new week. All right, so thank you. Okay, if the mic is open, you can also use the mic. If the mic is open, so you can use the mic. Okay, I think that's where it's better. So for the next question, since the mic is open now, for the next question, how many of us heard about Microsoft's laying off 6,000 staff um, last week, Tuesday? If you heard about
Yes,
it, you heard about it, man.
me.
All right, Tomo. All right, awesome. So, how many of us are also aware that PwC US lay off about 1,005 staffs also last 2 weeks? Okay, so that you know away. So Microsoft actually lay off about 6,000 staff, which is about 3% of their staff workforce on Tuesday. So some of them Friday was their last day. Then PwC US also lay off about 2% of their staff, which is about 1,005 staffs 2 weeks ago as well. So those layoffs were as a result of things, right, that were not that are not actually in control of the employee. So that is actually how generally how life is generally. There are some things that are not in your control, whereas there are some things that are in your control. So the purpose of this session is to ensure that the things that are in your control, you are able to actually position yourself rightly in terms of your career. Now, AI is coming, right? And with AI coming, definitely things are changing. I'm even saying AI is coming. AI is already here. Yes, it's already here. So it has been around for a while. Now is here already. So what does it mean for us as us in M365 space? What are the things that we need to basically leverage on to ensure that we are better positioned in terms of career? So I'm not talking about job now. I'm talking about career. So they are two different things. I'd like to also appreciate all our mentors have been wonderful for this whole session. Stanley, Oyimafu, Rafiah, thank you so much for being there to organize the session. Our MVP, Joseph, thank you so much. Madam Titilope, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Then Malga, Yomi, thank you so much. Then Olajide, thank you so much for the mentorship, and to our founder, MJ, we really appreciate you for giving us this platform to actually explore, to impact the community, to contribute to the community. Is also part of our discussion. Now, with the integration of AI into M365, basically the way we work is already transformed, and it's make it essential for we that are professionals in M365 space to adapt. So the main word is adaptation, right? So that is actually the idea. So how do you adapt in the era of AI? Now, before I jump into what I have for us today, um, from Olajide's sessions yesterday, what are the two things that are like a call to action for you? What are like the two things that are like call to actions for you? I was not in the session, but I listened to the session this morning while I was preparing for church and all that, and I completed the session. And there were call to actions for me. There were things that I learned from the session. I feel I need to start doing. So when I say call to actions, what are the things that you want to start doing or you would do differently based on the session yesterday? So please, if you can use your mic, please unmute your mic if you want to talk, or you can raise up your hand to talk. I want the session to be interactive, right? So the goal of today's session is interactive. So anyone from yesterday's session, with mentor Lajide, what are two, or even though you have more than two, you can say it, two call to actions. Me, I have more than two things I said I was going to do. And one of them is that I want to look into my CV again and do a revamping. Another thing I want to do is to look into my LinkedIn. There are things that I've been postponing to do on my LinkedIn I've not done. So those are call to actions for me. So I want to, somebody that is brave enough to unmute mic and tell us what are two call to actions or two or more call to actions, or even though it's one. Anyone? Anyone? I want the session to be interactive. All right, Boye, go for it, please.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity. For me, yesterday's session was a reminder that I need to be more visible, showcase what I've learned so far, and then be more interactive. And rather than utilizing my time to work around or waste my time on the social media space, I can actually use it to upskill myself and add more value. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Boye. Thank you, Boye. Thank you so much. Another person? Another person? Another person? I want to tell me a call to action that you have. Any other person? We have we are 22 on this call. So if you're on the call yesterday, you have a call to action, something that you want to do.
Hello, sir.
All right, Sunday, go for it.
Apart from updating my LinkedIn and my CV, I also learned that things will not just happen, that I need action. I need to take action in terms of updating my skill, in terms of professional certification and all that. So I cannot just fold hand and expect things to just happen without taking any action or making any effort.
All right, thank you so much, Sunday. Thank you for that contribution. Awesome. All right, so let's continue. So Boye and Sunday, for contributing now, each of you, I'll be giving 5K for your data. So you reach out to me, send me account numbers. I'll give you 5K. Oh, Anthony, I think I've already given the prize out already, so no problem. Review my CV, okay, build my portfolio. All right, so the winner we have Boye and Sunday already. All right, thank you. So it's always very good to actually contribute in sessions. You never can tell what is coming up, right? You never can tell what is coming up. So for our agenda today, we'll be running through some of these subtopics. We'll look at introduction to AI in M365. What has Microsoft done to AI in M365? Looking at AI as a co-pilot itself. Just a basic understanding of what Microsoft 365 Copilot is. Then what are the new skills for you as a Microsoft 365 professionals? What are the skills that you need to have? Then we'll look at what are some evolving career roles. I'll touch on that a lot. Then what are the practical steps to actually staying relevant in the industry? Then are there any certifications to consider? Then we'll look at some useful tips also that will help us. Then we'll call it a day with some soft skills and also some innovations. Now, in the introduction to AI, for example, now Microsoft needed to introduce AI into Microsoft 365, and they call it Microsoft 365 Copilot. Now, it's very important that you understand that AI is not replacing roles. Whichever role you have today in any organization, AI is not replacing the roles. Rather, AI is transforming them. So the way things used to be done before now is now different. The way things used to be done because of AI. And for you being a Microsoft 365 engineer, right? It is very important that you have what we call AI fluency, meaning that you must understand AI to a degree. So throughout this training, we took us through different admin skills, Exchange Online, SharePoint, Microsoft Teams, security and compliance, then our Power Platform, right? Now, with the introduction of AI, what it means is that Microsoft 365 rules, right, is not just being an admin. You must also have AI fluency. You must understand AI to an extent. For example, now, in everyday role, for example, I use Copilot every day in my role. I use Copilot every day. And Copilot is really, really helping me, right? To be productive, to be efficient, to also be innovative, right? Now, the AI in M365 is actually changing the landscape itself. AI transformation. Now, with the integration of AI into M365, right, it's actually reshaping workflows and productivity in a different way. So things that people didn't really expect are actually happening. Why? Because of AI has been introduced into the game. Copilots and other AI tools are basically, transforming how we work. They are transforming how we work as a professional. So whether you're using Copilot whether using any other AI tool, right, on a day-to-day basis, right, they are revolutionizing tasks by providing intelligent assistance for various applications. Microsoft is so smart that they start introducing AI into each of these applications. AI in Microsoft Word, AI in Excel, AI in PowerPoint, AI in Teams, right? In Loop, in OneNote, even in SharePoint. Microsoft is putting AI into all those things so that the way we work can be different. And in terms of career evolution also, as AI changes the work landscape, it is very important. I mentioned this earlier now. Professionals, you must adapt your skills to remain relevant and be successful in the field. It is very important. Your career must also evolve too. If your career is not evolving as AI is introduced into workplace, definitely you're going to be working in what we call a traditional career. You're going to see an example of how a traditional career and AI is making it into a new set of career. Now, if you look at AI as a co-pilot, I don't want to do any demo now. I will have shown you how I use AI every day. If I want to use a Word document, if I want to use in my Microsoft Teams to arrange my meetings, to help me plan my day, I use Copilot every day. Once I sign in, resume work by 8 o'clock, I go into my calendar, I just query Copilot. What are my tasks for today? It goes into my calendar, goes into other applications, then it begins to break down all the tasks I have to do for that day. And I'm able to organize my day with the help of the Copilot, right? I'm able to organize my day. If I need to do a presentation to stakeholders, to clients, for example, now, I can use AI to quickly, okay, I need a PowerPoint presentations. I already have what I want to present, maybe in a Word document or not. AI just help me. This slide I'm using now, I use Copilot to create the slide. In less than 30 minutes, my slide was up. I already have my point. So I just drop the points in the PowerPoint. Yeah, create slide for me. I was able to create a slide because if I want to sit down and start creating every element, it's going to take longer. But AI has helped me to increase my productivity. So it's a productivity booster for end users as well as IT pros. So whether you're just an end user in your organization or you're an IT professional in your organization, AI can help you to be more productive. Now, what are some of the roles of AI in terms of productivity and creativity? Now, there's something we must know. AI is a co-pilot, it's not an autopilot. Meaning that for you using AI, you must understand that you are still in charge. At the end of the day, if an AI generates something for you and you go ahead to present it, and they're not asking you questions and you cannot explain it, they're not telling you that, it's AI that produced this thing for me. You are still the one in charge. The role is your role. The role is not an AI role. The organization is not expecting you to use AI, to do everything, but bringing in your experience into the business. So AI functions as a collaborative tool, assisting individual rather than replacing them in their tasks. So what I just use AI for is to help with my creativity. Okay, I'm supposed to create something for a client, right? I don't know where to start the task from. All I just need to do is I have a way I write my prompt, write the prompt, put it in Copilot, and it gives me an idea. So from the idea, I'm not copying what AI is giving me. I just needed the idea from AI. I'll now infuse my own experience because I'm the human that understands the client. AI does not understand the client. The client is not a robot. The client is a human like myself. So I understand the client. I understand what the clients want. I only needed the AI to help me in terms of creativity, to help me with my productivity. Instead of starting from ground zero, the AI will just give me some suggestion. And from there, I'm able to put together a document. I'm able to put together a presentation and share with the clients. So AI enhances productivity. It helps you to streamline processes. It helps you to automate any repetitive tasks and also increase overall efficiency in various workflows. So that is what AI is doing for you, being productive and also boost your creativity. So most time, by the time I am done prompting the AI, it gives me the idea. I'll now put in my own experience. By the time I'm done putting the document together, share with my manager, it'll be like, oh, this is fantastic. Yes, because I have AI as a co-pilot that is helping me, that is functioning as a collaborative tool. So it just helped me with creativity. From there, I'm able to bring in different things from my own experience. I put into what AI has given to me and I present. So at the end of the day, it's offering you fresh perspectives and ideas to actually, enhance your artistic expressions. So it's very important. AI is not autopilot. It is a co-pilot to help you with your productivity and your creativity. And it's very important that you must learn to use AI. That is the era we are now. It is essential to understand how to effectively utilize AI tools, because at the end of the day, you want to maximize their benefits for both personal and your professional growth. So don't be scared of using AI. Rather, be scared of not using AI, because somebody that uses AI can replace your job, can displace you. Because the person is using AI as a co-pilot to help with productivity, to help with creativity. Okay, said I was not going to go into this actually, but again, AI co-pilot actually asked me. I wanted to do a demo of some of the things I do before, but they are confidential things. I can't share them on this call. So understand Microsoft 365 Copilot. I'm going to share some link that will really help us along the way for this. Now, for AI itself, there is also some AI integrations and functionality that you have to actually take note of, especially in Microsoft 365 space. Now, I mentioned earlier that Microsoft 365 Copilot integrates AI into all our popular applications, the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams. For example, maybe I'm on a project, for example, now, and I was on a leave, maybe 4 weeks leave or a long leave, for example, now, and there's been a lot of email communications, and I want to get up to speed. With Copilot, I'll just go into my email. That email tray, I just tell Copilot, can you summarize this email and let me know what are the action points that are pending on me? So instead of reading through the entire emails, just to get up to speed with the emails, with the help of Copilot, I'm able to get a summary within seconds of everything that has been discussed in that email tray, and if there's any pending action pending on me. The team had a meeting on Teams, and the meeting was recorded. Transcript is enabled, for example. Now, I can just go to the Teams meeting. From the Teams meeting that is created, I can just from the air, okay, what was discussed in this meeting, and what are the action points pending on me? It's going to summarize the meeting for me, and it's going to tell me, okay, these are the things, the action points that are pending on me, and is there any due dates maybe that are mentioned in the meeting for each of those action points to be, to each of those tasks to be completed? Then it helps me with everything. So that's what I use AI for in terms of for my professional life. So it tells me a lot. So I'm not scared of going on a vacation or going on a long vacation and I'm on a project, right? Because I know that I have a co-pilot to actually help me to summarize everything that I've missed, basically. Then in terms of automation also, it also helps to automate tasks. So Copilot automates repetitive tasks and thereby it will help you to improve your productivity, and it will allow you to actually focus on more important tasks. there are tasks that are actually more important than others. So any repetitive tasks you can just assign to Copilot to do for you, while the important tasks, you will take care of those tasks. These also another beautiful things are used for a Copilot for content generations and summarization. So M365 Copilot can generate content, it can summarize meetings for you, and making it a valuable tool for a professional. Again, it is just to help you with ideas. You are supposed to put in your experience because again, they will tell you like the tools like the chat GPT, it can hallucinate. I mean, it can even give an answer that is incorrect. It is not left for you to depend on your experience. You just need it for creativity. Not you want the AI itself to provide the answer for you. Then the client should just be using the chat GPT also, right? If the AI can provide the answers that they need. That is where you come in as an experienced professionals. So your experience is what will guide the conversation. If you don't have experience in that thing, then if you're solely depending on the AI, then you'll be missing it already. So what are some new skills, right, that professionals need to have in the era of AI? What are some new skills? So if you talk about new skills generally, we're talking about some skills that you should have to be more productive as an M365 administrator, even as an end user, as a professional generally. What are the skills that are important for you? One of the important skills is prompt engineering. What is prompt engineering? So prompt engineering is simply how to ask better questions of the AI tool. So any AI tool that you're working with as your co-pilot, how do you ask better questions? So it gives you good responses. Times that you ask AI some questions, because of the way the questions was structured, the answer the response you're gonna get might not be a response that you wanted. So that's the place where prompt engineering comes in. Understanding how do you there's a way to actually construct prompt. There's a way to construct your prompt to get a good response from AI. So prompt engineering skill is one skill that you must learn in the era of AI. Then another thing is data governance awareness. Now, understand that AI feeds on your data. In fact, AI they are trained with data. For your organizations, for example, now, if your organization is using Microsoft 365 Copilot, right? And the Copilot is allowed to access the SharePoint. So that means it's feeding on the organizational data. So it's always very important that the data that you don't want people or you don't want AI to even have access to, that control must be there. That's data governance awareness. Ensuring that you're managing and you're also securing data within your organization to ensure that there is compliance and efficiency. You're not exposing data that the AI is not supposed to have. It's very important. You have to understand the importance of secure and well-structured content for Copilot to work effectively. Then there's also integration skills that you must have as M365 professionals. We started this intermediate class with Power Platform. Why? Because we wanted you guys to have an idea. Because to be a modern workplace engineer, apart from the M365, Exchange Online, SharePoint, Teams, OneDrive, security and compliance, you should have some knowledge of Power Platform, Power Apps, and Power Automates at the least. So how does AI integrate with this platform too? Power Platform, Microsoft Viva is also another area. Now you cannot even shy away from SharePoint because SharePoint integrates with Power Platform. SharePoint can be your data source for your Power Apps, right? So you have to understand those integrations. That's the reason why we asked Mentor Stanley to take us on Power Platform journey. Because once we see, okay, how can we automate some workflows, approval process? These are some of the things you have to be coming up with as a professional in the era of AI. Now, the Power Platform has another solution called AI Builder. AI Builder is also another very beautiful solutions as part of the Power Platform, right? If you learn that a lot, it's that knowledge positions you better as a modern workplace engineer. So understanding copilots in all these in their integration in all this platform will actually help you to enhance your collaboration and your workflows, your workflow automations. So again, AI literacy is something that's across to empower professionals. So if you want to be able to leverage AI effectively in your daily tasks, in your decision making, right? AI literacy is very, very important. So these are essential things that I must have as professionals. They are very important. If you need to do a revised course, the recordings for the sessions are there on the YouTube channel. Go and learn them, because my goal is to put everything together for you and also introduce you to where you can use AI to be a better professionals in terms of productivity and creativity. So with AI coming into M365, I mentioned that career is not changing. Rather, it is transforming. Those roles are not changing, but how those JD are now, how the HR are now putting together the JD is what is changing. For example, now, if you look at for somebody who is a SharePoint administrator, for example, now, a SharePoint administrator role is changing into a role called a knowledge architect, or you can call it AI content creator. Because at the center of SharePoint document library is all about information management and architecture. So becoming a SharePoint admin now, you can become a knowledge architect or become an AI content creator. Because all your organization information, documents, files are sitting on the SharePoint. So that's the transitioning from the traditional role, which is a SharePoint administrator, to becoming a knowledge architect. Because there you are able to leverage AI into what you're doing. For a Microsoft 365 support engineer, for example, now, is changing into AI augmented help desk. I remember when I was still in the support role, freelancing with Upwork, right? When they introduced the new tool that we're using then, DFM, the DFM, they integrated AI into the DFM in such a way that the AI is able to summarize conversation, summarize some things. I also remember when I was with InterSwitch. So since I managed the contact center, now I'm not the administrator, not the support guy now. So there's one of the two that we use. We call it no, I've forgotten this two now. So is like Rave for those that have worked in TechSpa before, or DFM. So that too, what it does is that after you're done interacting with customer, what we do after interaction is that we do what we call case notes. So case notes is summarizing all your discussion with the customer, so that in case you are not in or somebody picked the case, the person will know, okay, these are the things that happen in the case. Now, that particular product, what the company did was they integrated AI. Instead of you writing the case notes, all your conversation with the customer, the AI picks everything and writes a case note for you, saving you time. So you can jump on the next call because you are sure that the case notes has been written for you. So that's where AI is actually helping. Someone's mic is on mute. Sorry about it. So that is what a support engineer career is evolving to. So you must be able to leverage how can AI. Now, there's also another feature that was introduced, and it will tell you, okay, this issue that the customer is having, this is a possible. So it goes into the knowledge base to also bring possible solutions for you. Now, instead of you doing your research, searching online, right? What it does is that it helps you to go into the knowledge base. So based on your conversation with the customer, it's going to pull up documentations, steps. So if there's some resolution step in the past that you can try with the customer, it will help you with that. So there's some transition that is happening between a traditional role and an hybrid role. Now, another role that is transforming. So one of the discussion you discuss about micro purview, compliance officer. Now, for compliance officer now, it is transforming into AI risk analyst. Because then you're focusing on identifying and mitigating AI-related risks in the organization. Compliance is one of the things as an administrator you must actually take. Micro purview is a solution, and a very important solution as that. So you can help organization mitigate AI risk because organizations are now using this, they are using the solutions. In fact, you cannot deploy Copilot to any organization without the knowledge of SharePoint, without the knowledge of Purview. Those two are very important. Then your identity and access, Entra. So you must be able to adapt to hybrid technical roles. So combining both the traditional role and the AI role, AI helping you, to be better at your job. So adaptivity is actually very important. Then hybrid skill sets. What is hybrid skill sets? Your technical skills, your soft skills, and your AI literacy. You must be able to combine everything to have an hybrid skill set. So you're not just the technical type. You're not just the guy that knows soft skill. You are also adding AI literacy to your skill set. Please, if you have questions, you can drop them in the chat. I'll be able to answer them, right? So you must be able to adapt to hybrid role. I mentioned this. So to succeed, professionals must adapt to hybrid technical roles that integrate AI technology into their skill sets. It's very important. I remember when I was 1 year ago, I was in an interview, and the interview, the director just asked me, "Tell me about yourself." When I wanted to answer the question, I just told him that, okay, I know you've seen my CV, you've gone through my CV, but I'm here to tell you what's not written in my CV. So I started introducing myself, mentioning everything I didn't put in my CV. So it got to a point I mentioned that currently I'm leveraging AI, I'm learning AI. Immediately I just mentioned AI, I saw the reaction on his face. Like he was very impressed. I also mentioned to him that currently using Microsoft Copilot. I told him what I use Microsoft Copilot to do. I also told him, okay, I've written an AI 900, which is the Azure AI fundamentals. I've also written AI 102, Azure AI Engineer, to build solutions, AI solutions on Azure. I was very impressed. By the time I was done introducing myself, you listen that in your introduction, you've answered all the questions I have, but I just have one question for you. Then you just ask the question. You say, one of the reasons I'm impressed is that you are not just into M365. You're not just into Azure. You're not just into cloud security. You're also leveraging AI. And the way I could prove it was showing him things I could do with Microsoft Copilot, then showing him also that I've written 2 AI exams. The age we have today now, don't go into an interview as an M365 administrator, support engineer without mentioning AI. Again, don't go into an interview without mentioning AI. It could just be Copilot. But ensure that whatever you are mentioning is something that you've done, because you don't know the other parties in the interview. Maybe somebody that it is skill set. The person start throwing you questions and they're trying to up balance. Meaning that one of the call to action that you should have is that I need to learn this AI so that I can talk about it in the interview. I can have conversations about it. When there are AI projects, when I have availability, I volunteer for it in my organization. Recently, they are doing an agentic AI. It's okay, let me look into this agentic AI. What is it all about? Talk about AI agents, not just moving from chatbots to having agents now that can perform the actions. So it's very important. That is one way you can adapt to a hybrid role, combining the technical skills, your soft skills, and AI literacy. So you're not, it's not compulsory you should be an expert, except maybe you just want to transition completely into AI engineering. Then you can that's okay, I want to focus into AI engineering. But having the knowledge, using the tool to increase your productivity, your creativity and your efficiency, it's very, very important. So what are some of the practical ways that you can stay relevant? What are some practical ways you can stay relevant in the industry as an M365 administrator? Remember I mentioned the role is transitioning from administrator to what? Also AI literacy. You're not just doing the administrator work, you're also doing the AI literacy work. Now, it's very important you do what we call experimentation. Do what we call experimentation and learning resources. The 2 people I gave that I'll be giving things to. The reason I'm giving them is 2 things. When you join the meeting, the call, a training, it could be a physical meeting, right? Always try to be present in that meeting. Meaning that take away every distractions. Your phone, put it on silent. Be present. A lot of times, 50% of our time, we are not present in a meeting. We have phones. I understand it's weekend, we are with people. For me, personally, I try to be deliberate. Apart from being present, try to find a way to participate. Last week in our organization, it was a global leadership week. On Friday, they invited one of the TikTok gurus for leadership session. So for we that are managers, it was open to everybody. So there are like 2 sessions. The other session was it was open to everybody, but they expected people that are managers or board to be in that meeting. So the fiscal meeting, I went to both meetings because they are leadership meetings. The fiscal one we had in the office, the guy was explaining a lot of concepts, very interesting stuff. I enjoyed it. He mentioned something. He said, whenever I'm presenting, doing a tech talk, I'm not going to do anything to embarrass you. I'm not going to do anything to make you look stupid. He said that. So me, I kept it. I had it, I kept it. He now did 2 experiments. Me, I'm a very open person. If I'm in a meeting, if I have things to contribute, I contribute. I like to be part of the meeting. He said, I need a volunteer. I want to do something. I need a volunteer. After I was done with talking, I need a volunteer for something. Everybody started, going into their compost. In the meeting, we are over 50. Me, I just raised up my hand. I was at the back. I just raised up my hand. I said, I saw you. I saw you. That's okay. Drop your hand for now. Let me ask. When I said I need a volunteer, what happened? Why are you guys not volunteering? So it was an interactive show. So people start saying why they could not. They, asked me now, why did I volunteer? I said, I'm present in this meeting. I like to participate. I like to partake in the meeting. If you go to LinkedIn, the picture it was even posted on a company's page on LinkedIn, I think on Friday or so. So he now did he now called me out. I came out. He did the experience to demonstrate some things. He was trying to explain how negativity affects businesses. So I was using my hand, my left hand, to explain the whole thing, the whole scenario. By the time he was done with that section, he gave me his latest book. See, for taking risks, he gave me the latest book. That was the first gift I got in that meeting. He continued the training and all that. He now pull out money from his pocket. It was in euro, the money pull out. He now raise it up. He now say, who wants this money? Everybody were raising up their hand. Me, I just step out. I just went to collect the money and I went back to my seat. He needed to use that to explain something. So now explain again, say, people why did you just raise up your hands? So you must learn to take action. I'm going to get there. I have a slide for that too. Me, I took action. So I got the money. The first time I volunteer, I got the book, the latest book he wrote on communication or something. So you must be very open to learn. Be open. And one of the things you must experiment with co-pilots. I know Microsoft didn't provide, unlike a lot of Microsoft is practically closing down everything, right? We used to have a test tenant, you can create a test tenant. But when Microsoft introduced M365 Copilot, there was no text license, there was no trial license. And one license is expensive, it's 30 euro. They now made it worse in the sense that you cannot even pay for 1 month, you have to pay for a whole year. Okay, I think it's 20 euro, 20 times 12, 240, 20 or 30 euro. But if you have access to other AI tools, you can experiment with them so that you can understand their capabilities, you can understand their applications. It's very important. Experiment with AI. Get your hands dirty. Another thing you can utilize the Microsoft Lane. So you have to leverage on resources that are available on Microsoft. Microsoft Lane is like the Microsoft University that has a lot of resources, a lot of materials, right? Then we have the tech community, Microsoft tech community also. There's a site, techcommunity.microsoft.com also. Leverage on them. They post informations, there are blogs, there's even what called Microsoft roadmaps. So there are Microsoft roadmap updates. It takes a Microsoft 365 roadmap also to tell you updates on things that they're working on, the one that's been released to the public, the one that's still in preview and all that, right? You have to experiment, find a way to do it. It might take sacrifice on your part, maybe spending some money, right? Experiment, just have a feel of how it is to experiment with AI since you are in the M365 space. Now, there are different licenses also. There's a free Copilot that is available. If you go to your Microsoft Teams, for example, now, there should be a Copilot button that is available for free. If you are not licensed, you can experiment with it. The only thing is that one is not integrated to your M365 Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and all that. So you cannot use them, but you can use them within the Teams environment or within a browser. There's a web version too that you can also, experiment with it. Experiment with Copilot, utilize Microsoft Learn, follow product roadmap. They're very important because any latest development, Microsoft will continue to publish it. So I mentioned this. This list is not actually exhaustive. Everybody has their plan. What are some certifications you can consider? So I have a few certifications you can consider here. So I know the committee tried to help us got vouchers for us to write some of these exams. Some people took the MS 900, some took the SC 900. So I think with the Microsoft AI skill first, some of us even got voucher for correct MX 102 and all that, right? But the list is not exhaustive. So it all depends on personal career path. I mean, areas you want to specialize. For me, I give myself like a 3-year plan. Last year, I focused on modern workplace. That means my target was that I want to write all active Microsoft certifications on M365. So I completed it. Because for me, if you ask me, where do I specialize? I'll tell you, I specialize M365, Azure, Cloud Security, and AI. The 2 AI certifications, AI 101, AI 900 and AI 102, I already passed them. So I closed that chapter. M365, last November, I completed it. This year, I wanted to focus on security. Out of the 7 current active Microsoft security certifications now, I've written 4 or 5, remaining 2 or 3. By the time I'm done with that, next year, I focus on Azure infrastructure and Azure DevOps. Just want to get my hands. The reason is because skills are evolving. You have to evolve your skills. You don't just, okay, even though this is where I want to specialize on, put some areas. What if opportunity comes in that area? You should be able to jump in. A practical example that happened to me last year, my current role, I'm not in M365 role, but I have people, I have my friends in M365 role that I work with. I ask them about their projects, we talk and all that. My current role is Azure Security Architect. When I applied for the role, when the role was posted, last year, February or so, February or March, I applied for M365 Technical Architect. I applied for the role on LinkedIn. I reached out to the person that posted the role. I mentioned to her that I just applied for this role, M365 Technical Architect, have over 9 years experience in IT with 5 in M365 and all that. She asked me some few questions, I answered. She ghosted me. A few months later, in May, she now came back. A few months later, I now went back to reintroduce myself after I became an MVP. So I went back to Chatter and now reintroduced myself that I'm now a Microsoft 365 MVP. I guess probably she was impressed. She responded because after that time, she didn't respond to me again. So I left her. So she now responded and I mentioned to her that, please, I'm still interested in an M365 technical architect role. And she told me, oh, sorry, M365 technical architect role is no longer available, but we have Azure security architect available. Am I interested in that? And I told her, I'm actually Azure Security Engineer certified. It's a 500. It was my first associate examination I wrote in 2020. And I've written is a 305, Azure Solution Architect also. So I told her, I've written this exam, which is Azure Security Engineer. And I've also written this exam, which is a 305, Azure Solution Architect. And that makes me an Azure Security Architect. That's okay, send me a CV. So I needed my CV to look My CV was M365. So I need my CV to look Azure security. So I had to add some things. Later will show us how I used to update my CV for roles. You don't just take one CV and send it to different job roles. You have to tailor CV to job role. I think Olajumoke mentioned that yesterday also, but I'll show us how I used to do some of things later, not today. That's not the focus for today. I sent a CV to her, and today it was a story. It was history today. If I hadn't written those examinations, those certifications, or started pivoting into learning cloud security, probably I might still be in Nigeria today. I don't know. So those are the things that you must leverage on. And certification should be something that should be an area you want to focus on. Like the MD102, for example, now this certification is, if you know you want to focus on modern desktop, Microsoft Intune, SCCM, Microsoft Endpoint Manager, just to be called System Center Configuration Manager then. If you want to go into it and just learning Microsoft Intune alone, if you go to a country like Canada, you are hot cake. Intune and SCCM. Microsoft Entra ID, Identity and Access. If you learn it, write S300, Identity and Access Administrator. That skill alone can give you a job in US. Again, if you are going to be an identity analysis administrator, you must learn Intune, learn some other ones too, Okta, some other identity still points too. Learn it with it, become an IAM expert. So you mustn't be everywhere, but you must know, okay, these are the area I'm passionate about. In case there are opportunities in this area, I can jump into them. If there are opportunities in Azure infrastructure, I want to jump into it. If there are opportunities in M365, I want to jump into it. Yesterday, I wrote SC400, Information Protection and Compliance Administrator. I wrote that certification for two reasons. First, in 2003, a recruiter reached out to me for a job on information protection and compliance engineer. The job was in Sweden, and the job was going to pay about is it 50 euros per hour. I sent my CV in. By the time they came back to me, they asked me, "Do you have SC400 certification?" I said no. I said that's a prerequisite for this job. That's why I lost the opportunity. Microsoft is going to retire the exam this month, but I said no, I must have this certification. Mind you, that 2023, I wrote the exam, but I failed it the first time. March this year, I wrote it again, I failed it. I said no, before Microsoft retired it in this mail, let me attempt it again. I attempted it yesterday. And to the glory of God, I passed the exam. Even though it's going to be retired, the knowledge, the skills are relevant in the age of AI. That's the second reason why I wrote the exams. Data protections. Because talking about data loss prevention, communication compliance, insider risk management, talking about record management, talking about those things, they are relevant in the age of AI. You cannot, when I see your hand, I'll take your questions. You can just drop it in the chat, or after this, I'll soon be done with the slide. We'll go into question and answer. They are relevant. Just note the question down so that you don't forget it. They are relevant. One of the other things I did in 2019, sorry, when I started writing Microsoft certification exam, I said I'm going to write all Microsoft fundamental exams. So I started. My first fundamental exam was AI 900. I wrote it. I wrote DP 900, Azure Data Security. I wrote like in 2 months, I've written like 3 of those fundamental exams. Okay, 900, it's 900, and I wrote them it's 900 last. Why? I wanted to have fundamental knowledge of everything cloud so that I can know that, these are the area that I liked. So by the time I wrote MB 900, MB 19, MB 920, those are Dynamics 365, CRM, ERP. So 900 was before they scatter it, they divided it. So I wrote it, the legacy one, when ERP and CRM were together, and I wrote 910 and 920. Then I'm 365 CRM fundamental. I wanted to have fundamental idea of how they work so that when I'm talking with Dynamics 365 experts, I can interact with them. If I'm talking with an ERP functional consultant, they will think I have the knowledge, but I have the fundamental knowledge because I take the pain to go through the learning path to understand what each of these services. That's what fundamental exam does to you. It gives you an idea of overview of what each of those services in that particular certification tracks does before they now start splitting it to specialize on Microsoft Teams, MS700, SC300 identity, then each other exams, MD102 for Intune. So certification has actually helped me a lot today. It has helped me to become a better professional. I can interact with our Power Platform developers. I can interact with them. Our CRM functional consultants, technical, I can interact with them. So I understand what they're doing. And it even helped me more. When I was my former employer, InterSwitch, my friend that is a CRM developer, we talk about the stuff. So as he's explaining, I'm able to get it because I have the fundamental knowledge. I know what is happening based on the services that we use. So certifications is very, so if you have opportunity, just that when then in 2019, 2022, 2020, 2021, then Microsoft used to do all this Ignite Challenge build. Microsoft build is happening this week now. They used to give vouchers. But today, Microsoft stopped the whole thing last 2 years. So that's just the unfortunate thing. But I personally leverage on those. Most of my exams were paid by Microsoft. And lucky for me, I'm an MCT. I only get to pay 25%. So if you want discount exam also, you can apply to become an MCT also to get discounts. Then lucky for me also, my new organization, they pay for all my exams because it's part of my KPI. So they pay for all my exams. So if I want to write 10 exams this year, I can get voucher from my company. So if you have opportunities like that, you leverage on it. I have an exam scheduled for this week Saturday. I have another exam scheduled for next week Saturday. Like the next 3 weeks, I have exams to write because I want to rest by July, August, rest, September, I'll write another 2 again. So it's very. And for me, is to help me with my career development. That's for me, because I already mapped it out. M365, I'm done. This year, complete the whole security track, then complete Azure infrastructure. Now, I'm going to mention 10 points right now. If you have not been paying attention, I think you should pay attention right now. Give me 1 second. Let me be sure the system doesn't go off. 1 second, please. Need my battery. Sorry about that. I think the battery was running low. All right. The next 10 points I want to share now, they're very important. They're just 1 point. I will share the slide. Then if you can also write them down, it's very important. Now, we're training you on administrations. different features. Now that you know those features, don't just learn those features. You need to master the business value. Examples, you need to understand how Microsoft 365 tools, all those SharePoint teams, Purview, security, and Copilot, how you can use them to solve real business problems. So it's not just about learning those features. Those features are good. For me, why I go into writing certifications, because I want to take my time to go through the learning parts, understand the learning part. So after understanding the learning part, right, understanding those features, what I start thinking next is that this feature I just learned, which business value can it solve? Which real business problem can we solve? Which problem are we currently having in our organizations that that particular feature can solve? Meaning that you have to focus on use cases like AI generated reports for executives or Copilot driven knowledge management. Meaning that the way you should start thinking now, you should think like a solution provider, not just an admin or a support person. Think like a solution provider. What are the business problems that our organization is currently facing? Okay, all these things I've learned now, how can I use them to solve real business problems? That's when you're mastering business values. Employers don't just want to they don't want to talk about features. What differentiates you from somebody else is a business value that you can bring out from any technology that you learn. It's not just about learning the Microsoft technology, AWS or GCP. Not just about learning those features. How can those features be used to solve business value? Very important. The second one, build depth and breadth. Build depth and breadth. What do I mean? By depth, be a subject matter expert in an area. It could be SharePoint, it could be Exchange Online, it could be Entra ID, it could be Teams, whatever. Be a subject matter expert, such a way that when they call you for that particular subject, you're able to dissect it, explain it to an 8-year-old boy. That is you building a depth. Let me give you a practical example. It's funny, right? Because myself and my manager, we are still having that conflict. As a matter of fact, the exam I wrote yesterday, my manager discouraged me from writing it. And I'll tell you why I wrote it. First of all, I didn't collect the voucher for the company. So this one was my own voucher that I had before. So I didn't even mind him when he was saying that you should not write it. I have a reason why I'm writing it. And the reason is breadth. Understand how your areas, that's that area that you are a subject matter expert in. Understand how that area integrates with other areas. So let's say I'm a SharePoint online subject matter expert, as an example. How does that area integrate with other areas? Like, how does SharePoint's knowledge integrate with Teams? How does it integrate with Power Platform? How does it integrate with Copilot? My role, even though I'm an Azure security engineer, now in the team, I'm a subject matter for just identity and access. That means my work in the team, based on, is a business requirement anyway. Based on the business requirement, my work is to focus on Entra ID. And me, I know that Entra ID is not the only thing in cloud security. Even though the business requires that I'm an Entra ID subject matter expert as a cloud security engineer or a cloud security architect, right? Does that mean because I say I'm working with now, this is what I focus on? Does that mean I'll not leave other areas of cloud security? No. Based on my role, I'm building depth, becoming subject matter expert in intra ID, and I'm also building breadth. Other area in cloud security, Microsoft Sentinel, Microsoft Intune, Microsoft Purview. That's why I wrote this Purview exam. I'm still learning all those things for my own career development, not for the job. The job requires that I'm a subject matter expert in Entra ID, but my career is beyond just Entra ID. So I have to give myself sense. As I'm building depth, I should also build breadth also. So my knowledge in M365, I'm still updating them. My knowledge in AI, I'm updating it. My knowledge in cloud security, other area in cloud security, Microsoft Defender XDR, Defender for endpoint, Defender for identity, Defender for cloud applications, mentioning Defender for cloud apps. I'm still updating my knowledge. Why? When an opportunity comes tomorrow in those areas, how will be able, even though the current project I'm working on is focused on Intra ID, on a personal level, on my own test environment, I'm building projects in other areas so that I'll be able to showcase to future employers that, okay, these are other things I do. Even though I know that I didn't do it in my current role, but they're personal projects, so I can integrate it with my role. So this hybrid knowledge, building depth and building breadth, is what makes you AI ready and also career resilient. Career resilient in the sense that even though, like unfortunately, the 6,000 people that Microsoft terminated, anybody that is still building, the person will be able to pivot into other careers. It's not about job resiliency. Organization can decide that, okay, you want to fold up today, everybody go home. But your career is in your hands. So you have to continue to build career resilience for yourself by building depth and breadth. Learn the AI aspect of the career, every area. Watch in my last session last year, I mentioned that go and do research, go and check JD of different roles. Look at those skill sets that are missing currently in your CV or that you don't currently have. Find a way to learn them. We have Udemy there, we have some online platform there that you can learn them. It's very important. Build depth and breadth. I don't know how better way to explain that. The next one, embrace a growth and experimentation mindset. I mentioned this earlier when I was giving the example. Be open. AI is evolving fast. So for you now, you have to get comfortable with testing new tools and features. Last 2 weeks, I was supposed to speak in a global Azure. I wanted to create slide. I said I don't want to use Microsoft 365 Copilot or PowerPoint to do the slide. Let me try another AI tool. So a friend suggested Gamma.app. I just said, oh, let me try it out. But I like it, but at the end of the day, I didn't even use any AI tool eventually because my knowledge of PowerPoint increased because of my new role. So I built a slide from the ground for that particular event, and I love it. It's fantastic. But I still test out tools and features. So those slider, those ones gave to me, they gave me an idea of how to present my own slide. So you must be comfortable. Test out different AI tools. There are a lot of AI tools out there. Just test them. You never can tell the one that you will talk about and the feature that will land you the next role that you're looking for. Having an experimentation mindset is also like things around. Start small projects that showcases your AI capabilities in M365. You have learned about Power Automate, right? For flow, for automation. Do projects around it. Showcase those projects. Can showcase them on your LinkedIn, put them on your GitHub. So that when somebody asks for your portfolio, you can share your GitHub link with them and they will see all the projects you've done. I mentioned AI Builder also. AI Builder is part of the Power Platform solution also, right? Do small projects. And one mistake people do is that they are waiting for perfections. Don't wait for perfections. Learn by doing. If I'm not in this session today, there are two things I'll be doing. Either I'm resting, preparing for tomorrow, planning my day, or I'm on the Microsoft Learn Apply Skills. Let me see what other things I can do. Hands-on experience, just to sharpen my skills. Learn by doing. Don't wait for perfections. So it's very important. Embrace a growth mindset. Now, this is another area that people don't consider, and I know that Olajumoke mentioned it also yesterday. You have to be able to collaborate, not just collaborate with your peer in this class, people that you studied together. You know, is there somebody you can run to? You have a challenge, you're looking for solutions, people that can jump on the call for you. You build friendship, right? And apart from that, contribute to the community. So I mentioned some global community that you can join. Join global communities, go to Meetup, just tap some community name. It will bring some community for you. I have communities in India that I join, and I join their events, I join their meetings. Communities, there are some in Netherlands that I joined. There are some in Ireland, UK. I joined them. I just joined their events because I want to learn a lot of things. How do they present? What are the new things they are learning? How are they thinking about this AI thing in their area? That's something that I enjoy with the Indian community that I joined. They do a lot of AI events. So I try to think, okay, how are they thinking it? So it helps me also. So the local community you're part of, actively participate. How do you participate? On your own, you can share what you learn in class. You can do it as a blog, create a blog site, or you can post a LinkedIn tips on your LinkedIn. Or if you have a mini demo, you do it. I know people are doing it in community like the likes of Paul, the likes of Solomon. I'm seeing their work. They created a YouTube channel and they started doing some demos. That is how you learn. You learn more by sharing what you know. You learn more. Don't just keep the knowledge to yourself. Continue to learn, share the knowledge. As you learn something, share it. Write a blog. It can be a one-page blog. It doesn't have to be 5-page blog. Just one-page blog. You resolve an issue. How did you resolve it? Document it as a blog. You can put it on your GitHub or do a mini demo on a YouTube video. Post it on the community. You're participating. Community actually, when you're actually visible in the community, it opens doors for mentorship. It opens doors for collaborations. It opens doors for jobs. It opens doors for you. So you have to consider that. It's very important. Collaborate and contribute to the communities. This is another one I mentioned earlier. Think about your career, not the job. Think about your career. There's a difference between a career and a job. Your job, they gave you the job to do. They can say, okay, we don't need your service again. But your career is something that you are building for yourself that will make you to be resilient in the market, make you to be relevant in the market. So your career, you are improving on your career, you are improving on yourself. You are your own job at that point, not the job they gave you. Every certification I had planned, not everything is in my KPI. In fact, all the certification in my KPI is just one that is left for me to write. Yet I still have 7 more to write. Those other ones are based on where I'm seeing myself in the next 2 years. On Friday, I had a conversation with the manager of my manager. He reached out to me. We are looking for somebody that has a cloud security with Terraform knowledge. Terraform is something I plan to learn in January next year. So I don't have Terraform knowledge, but this other part of the project I can handle it. Okay, we'll look for somebody that has Terraform knowledge to work with you on that project. Your options will increase the more skills you have. That's what I'm saying. Your options will increase the more skill you have. So AI will change job description over time. So it's either that some roles will disappear or some roles will be merged. Either roles disappear or they merge. So you have to start thinking about your career. Okay, this is what I'm seeing in terms of my career in M365. What are the other skill sets I need to have to add to this for me to be still more relevant? So you have to build a personal brand around your ability to adapt, you learn, and lead with Microsoft 365 and AI. Very important. And also, you have to have portfolios of projects. It mustn't be a project that you did for an organization or a project that you did for your company. It can even be a self-initiated project that you can showcase. People want to see what you've done. They want to see what you've done. So you must be ready to showcase portfolio of project, everything you've learned so far on your test environment. Then document them, put them in your GitHub as your portfolio. When somebody asks for it, you can share it. I'm a mentor with Platform Explorer. So the way we did in Platform Explorer is different from here. In Platform Explorer, we don't come to class to teach you. What we do in Platform Explorer is that we give you a use case. In that use case, you have to go and think about the solution and implement the solution in your test environment. Take a screenshot, document everything, upload on your GitHub. That's what we did. So for my own track, I was mentoring the M365 track. I give them like 6 projects or so to do. Now they're doing group projects. So people in Power Platform, combining with people in Azure, M365 and security. We give them a project, a use case that requires all those skills with a project manager working with them to do a group project. So you don't come to class to teach. You go and think it about the solution. What I just did, I just give them tips on what to check, what to search. You still require to go and think it, how to bring the solution to life. They will document it and upload it on their GitHub. So that becomes portfolios of projects that they are doing. The next one, you have to be able to learn to articulate your value. Learn to articulate your value. Don't say, I manage Teams or SharePoint. Anybody can say I manage Teams or SharePoint. But if you say things like, I help organizations to drive collaborations and productivity using AI power tools in Microsoft 365. You must be able to explain how your role is impacting the business positively. What value you're bringing. What are the business value? Organization is after value that you are adding. Don't think tax. They assign the tax to you, you do it. What if they don't assign the tax to you? That means the whole day you don't do work. Is that what you're saying? You should be able to think outside the okay, what value can I bring? Can my role bring? Boils down to you doing your research. You do your research. Okay, this, we can do this. These are the business value around it. These are the functional requirements. These are the non-functional requirements. This is how the architectural diagram should look like. Okay, these are some dependencies. You bring value. And those value you're bringing, you're articulating it. Learn to do it in an organization. It's very important. Now, a few more slides ago. Now, another thing is you use the tools that you support. So for support engineers, for example, now, you have to learn to practice what you preach. Use Copilot in your own emails, in your Word documents, in your meetings, use Copilot, right? If you have the means, set up your own test tenants, explore other features. There's Microsoft Loop, there's Viva, there's Syntax. Those are things that are actually, they are not common in, let me say, in Nigeria, in Africa. But these technologies are common in the UK, in the US, they are common. So if you're looking at global rules, those are some other technology. They're still part of Microsoft 365. Viva itself has like 5 products under it. Viva Engage, Viva this, Viva that. That's a lot of technology under it. Microsoft Syntax, you want to become an M365 developer. One of the technology you need to learn is Microsoft SharePoint Syntax. So when you do those hands-on, when you use those tools, you get familiarized with everything that you want to help the clients for. I was having a conversation with one of my friends that is part of our entry side team. I just told her, see, from what I'm seeing, learn 3 technology, maximum 4. I told her 3 technology. First, SharePoint. Second, Microsoft Purview. Then third, identity and access. I said these are the 3 technologies. Sorry, the third one was Copilot. Then identity and access, those are the 4th anyway. I thought that these 3 technology will position you better in this role. Lo and behold, few weeks after we had that conversation, they are the M365 team. They changed the name of their team from M365 to Copilot. They changed the name of the team from M365 to Copilot. Now, the Copilot project that she's doing, the knowledge of SharePoint, Microsoft Preview, Copilot itself, and identity and access for authorization. Those were the technology that she needed for that project. When she mentioned that I have a project, to look at the project, say, those are the technology I told you. Because I was seeing the trend, I was seeing what was happening. So I know that this thing, there's probability that they will change them to Copilot, and these are the technology they will need. Now, you must stay curious, not just curious, also stay informed. The Microsoft Learn is there for you. I mentioned it earlier. I use Microsoft Learn every day, every day. The Microsoft 365 roadmap, check it. What are they building today? What are the features? Check it. The Microsoft Tech community, check it. Then follow experts on LinkedIn. Follow things they are posting. The strategic people that I followed in M365, in cloud security. Because I want to follow what are the things that is happening, just to stay informed. And because I'm curious, I want to ensure that I'm updated with the latest information. There are people I followed for each of these Microsoft technology. There's one I follow for SharePoint, there's one I follow for Teams, there's one I follow for Exchange, like that, on LinkedIn. So it's very important. You must stay curious and stay informed. Then, because we are in the age of AI, it's very important to understand what responsible AI is and their ethics. Meaning that you must be aware of security, you must be aware of compliance and ethical implication of using AI. You must be aware. Security, the one that largely taught us, compliance, that's purview, ethical implications. You must understand Microsoft Purview very well and its role in governing Copilot access and output. Because when we have AI without governance, it is equal to risk. Once you have AI and there's no governance, it's risk. So what does the work of the governance is a Microsoft Purview. Microsoft Purview data security, data management and data governance. Those are the two of some of the features that Microsoft every does. Without those two, and if you're using AI in your organization, that means you're calling for risk. So those are the 10 things I want us to basically understand. So I have just most like just to talk a bit about what is the role of soft skills in the era of AI. When you prompt an AI and it gives you a feedback, one of the soft skills that is needed is critical to be able to validate if the AI generated output is accurate, is reliable in any decision-making process. And this comes from your experience, critical thinking. If you prompt an AI give you an output and you ain't go and give those outputs to the management and the output is wrong, who is liable? It's not the AI, it's you that is liable. So in the era of AI, soft skills is critical thinking, validating, then also effective communication. You must be able to explain the AI output to non-technical stakeholders. So if you are discussing with stakeholders that are non-technical, you should be able to explain the outputs to them and ensure that everybody in the team they understand it. And for ethics also, I told you about responsible AI in the last slide. You must understand ethics and biases in AI. So responsible AI is Microsoft actually built their entire AI on call it principle of responsible AI because you must promote fairness, you must promote transparency. There's AI biases and there's the area of data privacies and the responsible use in tech. So those are some of the soft skills that you need in the era of AI. Critical thinking again, validating the AI results, effective communication to explain AI output, then ethics to understand bias and responsible AI. Now, it's also important that I have somebody. The guy I read the guy's story on LinkedIn some years back. The guy is a Power Platform developer. The guy said that when he was working for his organization, they were paying him X amount. On the side, what he did was that he set up an Upwork account, started working for clients in US, UK. He discovered that every project that he does, he was earning the X that he was earning in his organization times 3 for any project he's doing on Upwork. He was earning 3 times the salary. And how does he do it? He helped the organization. So the organization is like a Microsoft partner to they have solution. It comes with innovative idea to build solutions. So it was tackling different industry using Power Platform to solve those challenges. So you come with a business and an innovative idea, you will present the idea. So they will present it to the client. Once they present it to the client, once the client approve, he built the solution and he was making his money. At some point, he started building his own company. So not through the Upwork platform now. He started reaching out to clients. Since he has built those solutions, so he started presenting those solutions to different clients also, locally and in other markets as well. From there, he was getting his own direct clients, was making his own money. That is entrepreneurship. So when he saw that the money that was coming from Upwork and the money I was earning directly from his clients is times 10 of what he's currently earning. He just resigned his job. He focused on that. What was he doing? He was solving real world problem. He looked at problem after identifying it, and he will discuss with the clients. So I mentioned this again. Community engagement is very important that you don't share your project you've done. In fact, for me, for the past 6 months, I've not shared anything on LinkedIn apart from my certification because we have a social media policy. And one of my take home from yesterday's session with Olajide was that I'm going to review our social media policy because I want to put myself out there again. I've learned a lot of things in the last 5 months, but I want to be sure what are the things I can post for that visibility. For that visibility. That's the take home for me. Once I leave this class now, I have another session. After that session, I'll just rest a bit, review our company social media policy. That's why I don't post actually. I've not been posting apart from my certifications. But I have things I want to post. I have things I want to showcase. So I want to ensure that it aligns with our social media policy. If it's aligned, you start seeing my posts everywhere on LinkedIn again. I want to be out there. And inside also. So share your work, what you do, insights, things that you have. Share it on LinkedIn, your GitHub accounts, just for collaboration. And lastly, it is very important that as a professional, you must adapt to AI advancement by acquiring new skills relevant to your roles in M365. And to remain competitive, continuous learning is essential for you to keep pace with evolving technologies. AI is evolving rapidly, and you must be able to embrace innovations that will enable you to thrive in a challenging environment that is shaped by AI. Thank you so much, everyone. So if you have questions, this is the time. If you have questions, this is the time. I'm going to the chat. Yeah, Team Topic, I see here, security copilot is very, very important. If you have questions, just raise your hands, right? So we have about 18 minutes. Security Pro is one of the co-pilots I'm working on at the moment. Security Copilot. Thank you for pointing out, Team Topic. Oh, Michael, sorry, I didn't see this chat. Was my voice still breaking? Was my voice breaking?
No, your voice is fine. I think it's from his side.
Okay, thank you for confirming that. Okay, the LinkedIn of those I mentioned. Okay, but I'll look for the LinkedIn. I'll share on the community. A project that is related to Azure or Microsoft or more. Off my head now, I can't think of anything, but I'll keep this in mind. You can just post it on the group for a reminder. Then thank you, Sophia, for what you do. You can use AI to come up with project. Yes. Yeah. That's what we do basically to address business pain points. Thank you, Sophia, for that. All right, Team Dr. here. So it's clear from your hand. You have questions? I'm waiting for questions. Yeah, I'm also preparing for SC400. In fact, that's the exam I'm writing next week, Saturday. This week, Saturday. Emmanuel, thank you for that question. How are you able to constantly manage to write exams with workload from work? Because for me, it has been hard. Let me tell you practically. When I was at, I started writing an exam when I joined Tech Experts. Luckily for us, it was COVID and post-COVID, we are still in the hotel. So because we're in the hotel, our system was where we were working. And we work 9 hours. right? So working 9 hours mean that anytime outside those 9 hours, I have it to read for myself because my system is where I'm working. My personal system is in the hotel too. So by the time I'm outside work, so it's my Saturday, my Sunday, I used to use them to read. Before COVID, to the office on Saturday and Sunday to go and read because we have 24 hours internet in the office. So maybe I want to touch one or two of my cases, then read. I pay that sacrifice. When I left, um, when I left, Tech Experts, when I joined Upwork, what I did was that I would take leave. I sacrifice my leave. I can take 1 week or 2 weeks off just to prepare for exam. So I have target of exam. I did the same thing too when I joined InterSwitch too. When I joined InterSwitch for the first 8 months, I could not even write any exams. That was the truth because it was a new environment. I needed to adapt. I needed to learn new things very fast. So after the 8 weeks, I just took leave. The leave was to go and prepare for exams. So the leave, I'm resting, I'm spending time with family. I'm also preparing for exams. So that's what I do. So I sacrifice my leave for it. But if you're working remotely, like now, if I'm not in this session now, what I'll be doing, I'll be reading. That's the truth. Once I come back from church on Sunday, after eating, I rest. Once I wake up, I read. I have a class after this class now. I join the class. After the class, I rest again. Before sleeping, I go back to read again because I already gave myself targets. By June, there are like 3 exams I want to write by June ending, so I can rest from exam. July, August, I will rest. No exam. September, October, and November again, I'll write the exam again. So it's sacrifice. Now, because my current organization now, examination is part of our KPI. So part of our working hour, we can dedicate to self-learn. So I can say this week, 8 hours, I'm dedicating to learning. So I'll block 8 hours in my calendar to learn. So it's part, our organization supports it because I'm not currently on a full-time project. I'm on a part-time project. If you're on a full-time project for 100%, you don't have time to study for it. So I'm leveraging before I'm on a full-time project. Let me quickly use this period to write all exams I can quickly write and I'm good. Workload can be crazy. I understand. So Timitope, you have to go through the learning part, right? That's what I'm doing. I'm going through the exam learning parts. Then there is also something I saw. Oh, so this YouTube channel, you can use it. I'm dropping in the chat. Go through it also to understand the question pattern, the question format. I'll drop it for you in the chat. Timitope. All right. Number one. Okay. Somtochukwu, you can ask a question. Anthony, you can ask a question.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, good evening, Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you very much for what you've done so far. I really appreciate it. Okay, so my question is, in yesterday's class, our mentor mentioned something that you should be known for something, right? When it comes to putting yourself out there on LinkedIn or social media platforms. But then, you know that a couple of people on this mentorship class are doing a couple of things. They are not really into IT administration and some other things. Some of them are into whatever they are doing, right? And let me use, personally for me, right? Before now, I've been posting things related to what I do. But now I am doing Microsoft 365. I'm doing AWS. Now I'm at the point where what should I even post? Like, should I post what I'm doing that's going to pay me, or should I post about Microsoft, or should I post about AWS? Like, how do I do? Because at the end of the day, it's actually like a career shift. So, which area do you think we should focus on?
Okay, thank you very much for that
Yeah.
that question. Thank you so much. So you have to be
Thank you, sir.
strategic, right? You have to be strategic.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, post where you're going. Let me give you a practical example of what's me I want to plan. I'm being strategic. I'm looking into Microsoft Purview as a solution. Now, I want to start recording YouTube video on Microsoft Purview, what I learned so far in my exam, right? And how it can benefit organization. My strategy is that I'm targeting organization for freelance job, for data governance, for data security. So it's like posting where you're going, posting what you want, not what you're currently doing. In my current role, I'm not doing anything on Purview as a project. Everything I'm doing is identity and access here. So post what you want is like they say LinkedIn is like uh I'm trying to look at the word now. When you want to go and employer is coming to toast you. It's like a dating site, right? So what does employer want? I've seen some jobs, data loss preventions on Preview, different solutions on Preview. So I'm going for them, but at a freelance level. So that's why I want to expose that aspect, expose myself to that aspect. So I don't know if that answers your question. If you're posting what you want to get, not what you're currently doing. You can be doing AWS and you're laying a different skills for a different market to attract clients. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to attract clients. So that's why I'm posting things. That's why I want to start posting things around Microsoft Purview. That's the idea. So once I'm done with Microsoft Purview, I'll now jump into full security, things around Defender suite of products, postings on Defender for identity, Defender for endpoints, Microsoft Engine. But the market I'm targeting for now is Microsoft Purview. Akano, if you can ask a question. Akano, if you can ask a question.
Okay, thank you so much. Apparently I just even dropped it in the chat. So
Okay.
basically, how do you push past the setbacks? Because it's really challenging, and hearing how you mapped it out, setting those goals, and you touch base on like having to retake some. Like I've taken SC 401 twice, and like the struggle of mental space to sit back up and get back on the track is really draining. And having to then juggle, just like the last question you answered, when in 9 to 5 you are doing something else, but your mind is set at this purview. So SC41 has been trying to use it to enter into the purview space, and it's really draining. So how do you push past that setback, because it's really crazy?
All right, thank you so much for that question. A very brilliant question. Thank you so much. So I read a book so many years ago, Failing Forward. I don't see failure. So it's the same author that wrote it too. Is that you win or you learn. I don't see failure as failure. I see failure as learning. When I fail an exam, and let me even tell you, I'm just saying it out there now. The only exam that I passed once were fundamental exams. Most of my other exams, I failed them the first time. Most. Is a very few one. In fact, there's one fundamental exam I failed 4 times. PL 900, Power Platform Fundamental. New to the technology. It wasn't the way I knew. So I failed it 4 times. So the 5th time I passed it. So I don't see failure as failure. I see it as learning opportunity. When I fail the exam, I go back to study again. What did I miss? I've learned more. Somebody that read the learning part once, somebody someone that read it second time, third time is different. Now, in 2023 February, I passed is a 305 Azure Solution Architect, but Azure Administrator is at 104. I failed that one 3 times already. So now I don't have my Solution Architect badge because I must pass 104 before Microsoft will give me the Solution Architect. I failed is at 104 3 times already. I know I failed. I didn't study. I didn't have time. The voucher was going to expire, so I just went to go and write the exam like that. Now, the strategy for me is that between July, August, September, I want to sit down to learn it. While I'm resting in that period, I'll be using that period to study is a 104. So I can write it in either September or October again. So I don't mind failing because I see failure as a learning opportunity. So it's a shift of mindset, right? There are a lot of if I show you my dashboard and I showed you failures I have, you'll be amazed. In fact, I wanted to even post about it, but let me sign into my Microsoft dashboard so you can see it. So I can show you how many exams I've failed. I have 3 minutes for my next class. Let me just drop a message that I'll be 5 minutes late to the class. Mm. I've failed more exams than I've passed. Okay, maybe I've passed more now. But if I go down, I need to fail. It's where I used to see that thing, so it's easier. Think view score reports. What's happening to my internet now? Okay. Can you see? The first 4 exams I wrote, I failed them. See failure. See failure. Fail. See, I wrote the exam in 2023. This was the first time I wrote the SC 400. I failed. Look at failing SC 400, MS 500 is a 104. Fail it again. MS 203, MS 102. But I never allowed it to discourage me because I know what I'm going for. I'll look for another voucher or pay for the exams, reattempt it again. So some of them I didn't prepare, like this MS23, I didn't even prepare for it. The voucher was going to expire, the exam was going to retire. I just said, let me go and attempt it. You can see, it's the last day the exam was going to retire and I wrote it. The same thing for this one too, MS500 too. The last day it was going to retire, I didn't prepare for this. I cannot allow the voucher to expire. Let me just go and attempt it. And I see score maybe 670 something here or 680 something for this one. Then even this one too, 680 something. It's just few marks away from 700. But I don't allow it to discourage me. So after I failed this one here, and now attempt it again here, I passed. Oh, sorry, I think I passed before I even failed. Something I can't understand that. See, this was the second time I attempted it, March this year. Before I now passed it here again. So I don't allow failure to define me. I know what I want to achieve, so I go for it. If I don't tell you that I failed the exam, you won't know. People don't post about their failures, but me, I don't even mind posting about it because I even want to I've drafted a post I want to post on LinkedIn about it. The title is I failed over 20 Microsoft exams because I counted them. I failed over 20 Microsoft exams. Some are multiple time. I remember the Microsoft MA 700, I failed it the first attempt. 6 days later, I went to go and attempt it again, and I passed it. I attempted Business Intra. I failed this one, I even scored 500. I can still remember this score for this one. I tried Power Platform Outmaker too. I failed it. Then I choose 5 Finance Consultant. I tried it. I failed it. I know those are not my fleets. I left them. So I focus on cloud security, M365, and Azure. So failure is not failing an exam doesn't define you. It just gives you opportunity to learn. There's something you missed. You want to learn more again. I mean, I say, how do you think we can break into tech industry with the skills acquired? Do you think I can get any role just a C900 certification? I need to learn more before thinking of. So the first question is that, I mean, which role are you looking at? Which role are you looking at? So the role you are looking at will now determine. With S900, it's just fundamental for security. Excuse me. It's just fundamental for security, right? It's just fundamental for security. So you have to now say, okay, if you want to go into cloud security, what other certifications? You need to learn more. Maybe you want to go into Azure security, it's a 500, it's the next step for you. Or you want to go into identity and access, SC300 is there. If you want to go into SOC, Security Operations Center Analyst, SC200 for you. In information security, SC401, the Microsoft certifications. Yeah, Busayo, you can ask a question. This is the last question I'm taking.
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, I really
You're welcome.
appreciate you. I will not take your time. Please.